are now saying that in recent days they have preemptively called for patience, acknowledging that some of the factors that bogged down the process in 2020 remain unresolved 2 years later. In some cases, partisan disagreement blocked, quote, fixes, so they're blaming it on the legislature. We'll see what happens there. All right, we got more information. This is from some people on the ground, I guess, in Maricopa County. The Center Square is reporting within an hour of the polls opening, poll watchers were reporting issues with voting tabulators not working properly. In Maricopa County, election officials are able to read ballots, albeit at slower paces. We've got about 20% of the locations where there is an issue with the tabulator, where some people are having who have voted with them and try to run through the tabulator and they're not going through. Now that has caused apparently Carrie Lake move from her voting site, where she's supposed to go, to another voting site. Why should any voter have to go through that hassle? You would think that we're a pretty smart country. We send people to the moon. We did that in the 60s.
To be clear, she said, I went to a more liberal area
say that, yeah,
where there was no issue. And it seems to be that in other counties where there might be a larger Republican constituency, then the issue is coming up more regularly.
So every other state, so we're reading from the Washington Post, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, we might not know the results in those states. Now, my question is, if every other state can tabulate it, why can't they? Why don't we, why do we have to wait till Friday or Thursday or next week or the week after? This does not need to be complicated. This is pretty simple stuff. It's not like sending people to the moon. It's not as complicated as that. And doing it successfully. And not only landing on the moon, but then coming home and landing safely. So we have in Pennsylvania now an issue that has evolved. John Fetterman, before the election even started, didn't like the fact that the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled last week, we told you about this ruling, that election officials in Pennsylvania can't count undated ballots because that would be in violation of the state's election regulations, which makes those ballots illegal. So the campaign, late last night, an 11th hour lawsuit to try and overturn the high court. John Fetterman's campaign filed the lawsuit, and in comes Mark Elias. You might remember that name. Anyway, against Pennsylvania election officials demanding that undated, misstated, absentee ballots be counted in the midterms. Now, whether you agree or disagree with the rules is irrelevant to me. The rules are what the rules are. And the law is what the law is. And if we're going to have free and fair elections, and we're going to have integrity, you got to follow the law. You got to follow your constitution, your state constitution. Anyway, the decision to sue the Pennsylvania Board of Elections comes nearly a week after the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ordered the board to refrain from counting any absentee and mail-in ballots received for today's general election that are undated or incorrectly dated envelopes. The court also ordered that all misdated, undated ballots be taken out of the mix, preserved by the County Board of Elections, because it was evenly divided on the issue of whether failing to count those ballots was a constitutional violation. Pennsylvania requires all voters who submit ballots to by mail to fill out, date, and sign a declaration on the envelope in which the ballot is placed. Oh, so let's sue to, last minute, when nobody's paying attention on the eve of the election. Now, in Pennsylvania, there was a report earlier in the week that 3,400 undated ballots had already been disqualified in Pennsylvania. That was on fake news CNN. Election official, heavily Democratic Philadelphia, said Monday 3,400 mail-in ballots are at risk of being rejected because of incorrect information, missing dates, or missing secrecy envelopes. Now, if they really didn't like this provision of the law, they had time, ample time, to go to the state legislature, bring this up. They had ample time to go to the courts, but no, they wait to the last minute. So despite the Supreme Court ruling to the contrary, Pennsylvania Democrats are now allowing voters to revise their undated ballots. Because in spite of that ruling last week, court in Pennsylvania ruling against the GOP now on a late Monday when it decided election officials can continue to notify voters of what they call a fix if you need to with your ballot. Again, what are we doing here? Why is it impossible, seemingly, for people to do the simplest thing? And I'll tell you, the only solution that I can think of at this point is make Election Day a national holiday. Have provisions that people that are sick, elderly, can't leave their homes, that want to vote and participate, we make concessions to them that they'd be able to apply for an absentee ballot. People that are going to be out of town, they can apply for an absentee ballot. And then everybody else goes in, votes on Election Day, paper ballots, and you have a winner at the end of the night. Is that really that much to ask from the United States of America? I don't think it's that much to ask.
Make Election Day great again.
Yeah, make Election Day.
We can do it.
We can do it. We can make Election Day great again. It's unreal. There's no excuse for this, none whatsoever. Anyway, Carrie Lake will check in with us. We'll see what she had to go through today, what the hell's going on in Maricopa County. We'll find out the latest on what's going on out in Pennsylvania as well. Listen, our friends at Henry Repeating Arms, I will tell you, they're just a great, great company, and their products are second to none. They're incredible. They have a broad range of firearms, both rimfire, centerfire, calibers, 200 models to choose from. I love their configurations. I love their finishes. Every single Henry I've gotten is accurate right out of the box. It's reliable. It's affordable. The owner, Anthony, offers his personal guarantee that, quote, Henry owners have my personal guarantee to make certain they are 100% satisfied with the purchase of our rifles and shotguns. And if you're going to spend your hard-earned money on a Henry, I assure you we will do whatever it takes to make sure you're happy with your Henry. That's why they're celebrating the 25th anniversary. That's called great customer service. I love my Henrys. You're going to love yours. It's made in America or not made at all. It's simple. Go to their website. One word, henryusa.com. henryusa.com. You'll get a free catalog, free decals, and a list of dealers where you are. That's henryusa.com. Free catalog, free decals, list of dealers where you are. We'll continue.
Chuck and dog-faced pony soldier. That's just a few of the finer moments you recall when you walk down Joe's memory lane. You can't make this up. And with Biden in office, you don't have to. This is the Sean Hannity Show.
Talking with Karen and her son Tyler, longtime friends of this program. They own Lone Star Transfer, and they're now considered at Lone Star Transfer the leader in the timeshare cancellation industry. They have helped thousands and thousands and thousands of families successfully navigate the termination of their unwanted timeshare. Now just listen to Karen and Tyler explain why they are the very best at what they do.
Thank you, Sean. As you know, we've been helping unhappy timeshare owners for over 10 years. Besides having the best success rate in the industry, our clients continue to say our customer service really is second to none. When you call our office, we're going to ask you just a few questions to find out what your specific situation is. And then we're going to provide a simple solution for those of you who are needing or wanting to get out of your timeshare. I know timeshare owners are very concerned right now about the increasing fees and the possibility of a special assessment. After reading over 600 excellent reviews on the BBB website from our satisfied clients, timeshare owners know Lone Star Transfer is the company they can trust.
Sean, not only do we provide the best customer service possible, but we also guarantee a complete release of all liability to the timeshare in a specific time frame. Our exclusive transfer process will get owners out of a paid-off timeshare legally and ethically without it ever affecting their credit. We suggest that our clients be proactive. Whether your timeshare is paid off or if it still has a balance, there's never been a better time to get out of that financial burden that the timeshare has become. We will help you put an end to those increasing maintenance fees immediately.
All right, you heard it from the source. To get in touch with the only timeshare transfer company that I trust, is simply call right now 833-594-0075. That's 833-594-0075, online at LoneStarTransfer.com.
Jamie's log. Progressive. The Harrington's backyard. Day 27, 3:33 a.m. 333. All those threes mean something. Or I may be losing it. Been camped in Harrington's backyard for 27 days now, proving the Progressive has 24/7 protection. They've told me every day they understand what 24/7 protection means. Think I'm finally getting through to them.